Today on Trend, we visit the Art Gallery of Greater Victoria to view art for sale and rental. We'll take a look upstairs at Greg's to see what goes on behind the curtain. And Susanna Crofton shares a very special oceanfront property. Ingrid, this particular building, The Wave, is so beautiful. Maybe I filmed in here a long time ago with you, but it hasn't really been recently. I feel like we've seen every other building, and I love each one.
Me too, Amy, and welcome to Sayward Hill, which has just been an extraordinary project to be part of for me personally over the last 20 years. And you and I go way back because it was season 1 of Trend. It was my very first episode that we filmed at one of our recently completed buildings back at 758 Sayward Hill Terrace. And it's just been an amazing opportunity to be part of creating and finishing this extraordinary community here in Cudover Bay.
Well, and it's been a huge part of your career too, because you've been here for the entire evolution of it.
I remember working with Mohan Jal Developments back in 1997 when they had the opportunity to work with the District of Saanich to envision with their architects Frank D'Ambrosio and Peter de Hooge a whole new community concept, and it was formerly a gravel area. Naturally, Cudover Bay has those sandy beaches, gravel deposits, but after careful evaluation, environmental studies, they created 202 just extraordinary homes that are featured, capturing all of the beauty of the Salish Sea, Mount Baker, and of course overlooking both Cudover Bay Golf Course and the Ridge Course, which is just right out our window here.
Well, it's really neat to be filming in this building today as well, because I remember when I was in design school in 2004, this was one of the buildings that they were just designing at the time, and the architects were talking about it and the design concept and using that sort of as a study. So it's amazing to be here, you know, how many years later in an established building, and you know, you're selling this unit and it's all coming full circle.
And you know, that's a real testament to the forward thinking of not only the architects but Kimberly Williams, who was part of the interior design. And we were one of the first to really embrace that open plan concept and large footprint condominium living. Jal Developments has a niche here where almost all of the units are minimum 1,800 to 2,000 square feet, offering just those spacious, entertaining size rooms where you don't have to compromise too much when you're looking at that downsize option, which is the target market that we were looking for, those looking for that lifestyle that gave them the lock and go, the ability to step out for a round of golf or a bike ride along the Lochside Trail, pick up your groceries at Maddox Farm. But then if you wanted to escape and go on vacation, you could just lock that door and not worry.
Well, and it's a huge testament to the design as well, because when you're looking at the space plans and the layouts, they make so much sense. They're not just slapped together like a lot of the other projects that are coming up now. They actually feel like you're in a home, not necessarily a condo, but with this stunning view.
And that's definitely been resonating with buyers over these past 20 years. The commitment to quality, generally all are concrete and steel construction, and adapting to every phase. We would be conscious when I was with Jals to ask existing owners and potential owners, buyers, you know, what did you like? Where can we improve? And every building, every phase over those 20 years, we really refined and redesigned, and we kept some of those really great design concepts, like the walk-through closet to the laundry.
Yes, genius.
Yes, that's Kimberly's trademark. And with the final phase up at the Pinnacle, which we completed just about 3 years ago now, really was a culmination of, and the pinnacle of the project, of adapting everything that Sayward Hill and the lifestyle here offers.
Well, and even when you're speaking about the finishes and the high quality and such, it really is a great testament to that, that shows, you know, maybe people want to update things now, because how long has it been since this building was?
So this was completed in 2005, and you're right, this unit has solid bones.
Like nothing has failed. It might just be you want to update the countertops or the tile because your taste is a little bit different now, but it's all still in great condition and looks phenomenal.
Definitely, and as we have seen over these 20 years that we've been building Sayward Hill, and I've been part of the project, I have actually seen also a bit of a younger demographic coming. Instead of, you know, 70 plus, it's now maybe 60-ish. And I think that's also homeowners wanting to adapt to that lock and go lifestyle a little earlier on in their lives. And I have to say, you know, that reflects me too. I'm now a Sayward Hill homeowner, enjoying all that the Pinnacle lifestyle has to offer here. And I couldn't be more proud to be a Sayward Hill owner and part of this extraordinary community that the Jall family have built and created. And it's just a testament to everything that is part of this overall concept area with Cadover Bay Golf Course and the homes in Maddox Wood, the condos at Maddox Green, and of course, you know, all that Sayward Hill has to offer. It really is a unique offering where you're still only minutes to downtown, minutes to the airport or the ferries. And I think it's really starting to resonate too with those out-of-town buyers, realizing that this is really an extraordinary West Coast package that they're having here at Sayward Hill.
This is the lifestyle. Karen, we're over on the other side of the art gallery today in this beautiful mansion. There's so much lovely art around us.
I know, we're so lucky to have this space to hang art in. It's just such a beautiful, cozy space. We've got the high ceilings, and the modern art in the old space just looks fabulous. And so all the work that you're seeing in here is done by local artists, and it's all very current. So kind of excited.
And these would all look amazing in people's homes with various different options. You can purchase or rent.
Yes, absolutely. So very often our residential clients, they like to rent to start. You know, it's a big investment when you buy your first painting in particular. And it's really nice to know that it's going to work in your home and you're going to love it for a long time. So it's a really safe way to make a purchase, and your rental fees goes towards the purchase price, so you don't lose anything. And our gallery members get 10% off, so you should become a gallery member too.
I love that. One thing I'm always telling my clients is to purchase original art when you can, and really choose things that speak to you, that make you happy, that when you walk into that space, it just draws you in.
Oh, absolutely, and you're going to love it every time.
Every day.
And I watch people going through and they go, oh, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice, and then they go, oh.
Yes.
And you know, I said, that's the one you want. You
It's
don't
the one you
second
get excited
guess,
about.
right? You just know, just people just don't trust themselves sometimes. And that's one of the good things about the program, is you don't have to worry about trusting yourself. It's easy and it looks great. And art, real art, warms up the place. And so you're right, it's worth it to save up and go for that original piece and buy them slowly. And you can start off with like small paintings.
Absolutely.
And then start a collection of small paintings. I think that's how most of us start. And then we save up for the big one that we really want.
Well, what I love too is coming and exploring and finding out about new artists that I didn't even know existed before.
Every artist has their own unique way of doing things, and everybody can be in a class even together, and you're painting the same subject, and everyone is going to paint it differently.
So true.
Right? So your personality is part of the painting. And I always like to say, all these artists are really good people, so you got good energy on your walls.
That's true. And I love to, when you really get to know an artist as well, seeing how they evolve and change over time, or things that they've gone through that have really influenced their artwork, and how that makes you feel as well.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of my favorites. one brilliant artist, and a great example is she left her full-time job 2 years ago just to become full-time artist. Wow. And you see the work she's producing, it's just amazing. And it's because she has the time.
Yes,
you know?
and the freedom to just explore and do whatever she needs to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's exciting. I love watching artists grow.
Yes.
It's one of the perks of the job.
You might have one of the best jobs ever.
I hear that regularly, and I concur.
Well, thank you so much for having us, Karen.
It's such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
One of the first things I ask clients when we're planning a big renovation or the build of a new house is whether resale is going to come into play. I just did a large renovation on my own home over the last year, and this is totally something that I thought about for both of the design and the planning. When there's resale in mind, you have to think of things that are on a broader scale. You don't want to offend anybody with bright colors, bold wallpaper, or things that aren't going to change easily. Yet you still want to have the flexibility to add that little bit of design pop to it. A lot of it comes down to staging and how you market your house as well. You want it to look absolutely stunning and beautiful, yet still cozy. It doesn't have to be something from a magazine, but it has to be something that the new potential homeowners can see themselves in and literally fall in love. Adding all of the bells and whistles and the little things that aren't going to break the budget are also a great idea. They set your property apart from everybody else, and they really put it in the forefront where people are going to want to buy your space. When you're doing the design, do things that you love, but also keep it in mind to be a real winner when it comes time to sell. David, it's not every day that I get to come up to the workroom here at Greg's Furniture.
No, it's an amazing space and where everything happens that we do, and people are always fascinated to come upstairs and sort of see what's under the fabric and how things are made and all the different components that go into it.
Well, I think that's a great point, because a lot of people sit on their sofa or their chair every day and have no idea what the construction's like and what's good construction, what's bad construction, and what they're even seeing.
No, for sure. And when people come in who are unsure about reupholstering, we can bring them up here and show them what we do and show them how every piece is done, you know, by hand and one at a time, and all those different things that go into making a good finished product.
And so when making a good finished product, what would be the process? What are sort of the steps and the pieces to it?
Well, for our new, like the frame behind you there,
Right.
we have a frame shop in Central Saanich, and the same fellow's been making our frames for 40 odd years.
Wow.
And they're all made with BC spruce and alder and hardwood at all the joints. And again, they can be made to any size space that you have to fit in your home. And a lot of people feel that we are just reupholstery, but the new frames and the new upholstered furniture is a big part of our business that we've been doing. In fact, we were originally, it was actually Greg's Furniture Factory.
Oh, wow.
When it first started in the 1950s.
And I think that's an important point to make, because when you're purchasing high quality furniture in the beginning, then it makes it worthwhile to reupholster down the road when it needs a little refresh.
Absolutely. I mean, again, we reupholster suites that we've built sort of many times over for customers. And again, you do want that good frame and foundation and springs and good components that make it worthwhile to reupholster.
Well, and I think people would be surprised at what's in some of the bad stuff, that things are cardboard that they're sitting on.
Yeah, cardboard and particle board. You know, you have no idea how often we repair frames that come in that are just particle board that's disintegrated, and we have to try and fix it for the customer to keep it going a little bit longer. So yeah, you really want to be wary of a lot of the mass-produced furniture, especially offshore furniture, and what's underneath that fabric, which may look nice.
And it really just becomes disposable at that point. A lot of people have great intentions that they don't want to throw out this sofa. Maybe they would like to put new fabric on it, but if the frame is just junk, there's kind of no point.
No, absolutely. And again, in that case, it's just going to the landfill, or you see it on the side of the road and somebody else has to deal with it. And so, again, if you're talking sustainability, and especially in this day and age, that you want to buy something that's going to be worth reupholstering and worth keeping in your home for many, many, many years.
And you guys have had some really cool projects. Furniture from the Empress, for example, where you're just giving it a refresh.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, over the years, we've done reupholstery for the Empress many times. In fact, this year we've done 28 sofas for them.
Wow.
And so again, that's a prime example of reusing and recycling good pieces.
Yes.
And putting them back in the rooms, and it works for the hotel, and obviously it works in that it keeps us busy as well and keeps them out of the landfill. So it's great all around. The piece behind you there, which is a chair from the 70s, just reupholstered, and that's a beautiful piece that's been redone with another fabric, and it will go for many, many years.
Well, and that's so cool because that's a very mid-century modern style that's a classic piece, and yet now it's updated.
Absolutely, and it's a style that is so in demand, right, in the auctions, and we're reupholstering more and more of it all the time.
I love it. This is so exciting for me.
Good.
Thanks so much, David.
Thanks, Annie.
Go global with Newport Realty and Christie's International. Architecture dating back to the 1500s, amazing beaches, a charming rural culture, and the #1 place in Europe to live or invest. This is Portugal. In Portugal, a typical 400 square foot apartment in a high-end part of Lisbon will rent for around 1,800 Canadian a month and cost 350,000 to purchase. Here's a wonderful property located in Musafal, Sintra, a true refuge. This 3-story villa was designed with luxury materials and finishes. It includes a gym, a spacious game room, and a spa, complete with heated indoor swimming pool. That's in addition to the outdoor pool. With an enormous living area, this home features 4 bedrooms with 2 baths. Right now, Portugal is the easiest place in Europe to get a mortgage for a non-resident. I'm Cam Northover, going global with Newport Realty and Christie's International.
Susanna, we're here at such a stunning location on Ardmore Drive. It's really hard to find anything else like this.
Yes, it's so beautiful. We're at Coles Bay, which is traditional territory of the Coast Salish. And we have the Sartlet First Nations right here as well. And Coles Bay is beautiful. It's a very quiet, sheltered cove, and then it opens up into Saanich Inlet.
Well, I love this so much because it has such beautiful mature gardens, which are really hard to find, and such a short step down to the water. It's sort of a terraced yard.
Yes, this property has been in the family for generations. And so thus we've had those years and years of being able to cultivate these beautiful gardens and one-of-a-kind plants. And as well, we have almost 200 feet of waterfront and a beautiful dock, which again, those two together with just over an acre, just really hard to find on the southern island.
It's almost impossible to find. And I mean, people know we're on an island and that there's tons of waterfront here, but to find something so special is very rare.
It is very rare. And again, we're also not in the flight path as well. So it's beautifully quiet, as you can hear. You hear birds, you hear otters, you hear all sorts of things, but you certainly don't hear the traffic. But we're so close to everything.
Yes.
To the ferries, to downtown, to all the amenities. And I'm sure the next people that purchase this property, it will be in for generations, because we think on the southern islands and Gulf Islands, there's lots of waterfront property, but there really isn't. And we have a lot of infill now, so given COVID and given infill, to have this kind of view that you can count on for the next few generations, such a gem.
And it has a dock as well.
Yes, it has a deep water dock, which means that when the tide is out, you can still moor your boat.
And let's talk a bit about the house that's on this property, because this is so unique. I love it. You walk in the front door and that breezeway, it just opens right up to the water.
And it's nice because that breezeway is a little bit sheltered. So in the winter time, when you have the winds coming in off the water, of course you can sit out there and it's sheltered. And the house itself was built in 1992, and then there was a special edition we'll look at that came in about 2010.
And they really planned this out for their lifestyle and made it very unique. This is not a cookie cutter design.
No, not at all. It's got lots of rough hewn beams, and I love around the window sills, the polished wood. And it's a real family entertaining home for sure. Yes.
And so how many bedrooms and baths are we looking at?
Well, it's 6,400 square feet finished, and then there's additional 1,200 unfinished, full height, that was sort of used as a storage room, but it's all plumbed and everything. But with the 6,400 square feet, a lot of it is entertaining space, but there are 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms.
And you really get these unique feature listings. The addition on this home is stunning, and there's so many possibilities that somebody could use it for.
Yes, and I think sometimes when we're looking as a listing agent, sometimes it's better to leave a room vacant to give people all the possibilities, because it is such a unique you know, 55 feet by 20 feet, 17 feet high with these beautiful clerestory windows and nice polished cherry floor. It could be an artist studio, a yoga studio, private art collection, and you really want people to imagine, because when you come to this property, you look out, the possibilities are endless.
Yes.
So inside the house, you want to have that same feeling.
Well, I think it would make a great interior design studio, personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I love is your customer service with your clients as well. They really are long-term relationships.
Well, I enjoy it, and it's fun. Each one, like you know, as an interior designer, it's something that you start with and you just work towards the sort of the finished product, and we want to make it the most attractive. And that's why it's so important to have a good drone video and good photographs. As you can see with this property, it was really hard to see the scale of it until we had the drone video. And I think sometimes when people are looking online, I think it's still really important to kind of look at a property, because when you walk in here, I could have all the beautiful photos. You just don't get that sense of, we can't hear anything right now. You just don't get that sense from a photograph.
And there's so much potential here as well. I think once somebody walks into the space and really falls in love with it, and they can see how they would use it and change it to be their own.
Absolutely, yep.
Susanna, is it fair to say that really, buyer or seller, they really need a great realtor no matter what the market's like, whether it's crazy and you're having bidding wars, or whether it's a little bit slower and finding the right property, because people always have to buy and sell.
Exactly, people always have to buy and sell. I think sometimes there's this sense that people are buying because they've won the lottery.
Right.
No, people buy and sell for all sorts of reasons. More children leaving the home, a new location, new lifestyle.
Yes.
So yes, and I think that every market has its opportunities. And I think that's the job of a realtor, is to keep the buyer or the seller focused on, this is an opportunity to sell. If the market is going down, you're still going to be able to buy perhaps at a lower price.
Yes.
The market's going up, again, you might be making more than you thought you were going to be able to save a little bit. So at every market correction or every market step, I think having a good realtor behind you and their resources is very important.
It is, because it's your job to guide them and help them make the right choices for the long term.
Give them as much information as they need moving forward, because it's a team that is necessary.
And I know, just speaking personal experience, if you don't have a realtor with you, I would buy or sell on emotion, and that's never a great idea.
I understand. I think we're all, you know, can fall prey to that, to the emotion part of it. And so we are the information gatherers, and also to guide you, and to maybe not save yourself from yourself, but to give you all the information so that you can make those decisions feeling really confident in yourself that this is the house for you, or this is the time to sell that house.
Well, I have to say that your clients are absolutely so fortunate to have you on their side.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.